Welcome back to my channel, everybody. I am Nina Takesh. This is the Red Elevator. And today we're doing something really important. And that is how to avoid 7 of the biggest home regrets. Okay, you do not want to make these 7 mistakes. Let's get into it. Have you ever walked into space and immediately thought, what were they thinking? Well, I know I have. And I don't mean it in a mean way. I just mean it would be so much better if that wasn't done the way it was done. And what happens is that if you're living in your own space for so many years, you stop looking and stop noticing. So today I'm going to break down 7 of the biggest home design regrets, and more importantly, how to avoid them so your space is beautiful, functional, and timeless. Number 1, forgetting function and missing storage. Once you move in and once you figure everything out, really bringing storage in as an afterthought is a mistake. Think about storage first. One of the biggest mistakes homeowners make is that they focus purely on aesthetics, and I've been known to do that, but now I stop myself, I correct myself, and I say, let's not forget storage. So if there's an opportunity to, especially in smaller spaces, to add that additional storage, let's do it. If you have an ottoman, why not get one whose lid's open and you can store blankets or remote controls or whatever in those spaces. So even if you have a large home, people love the fact that they have extra storage. So it's a major factor in functionality, so let's not forget it, and it'll help you declutter. Another way to really maximize storage, and this is also part of design, meaning your design will be elevated if you do this, is to take your cabinets to the ceiling. I cannot emphasize this enough. When your cabinets don't touch the ceiling, it looks like an apartment, standard apartment. Not that there's anything wrong with living in a standard apartment, don't get me wrong, but if you're building something from scratch, why not extend it all the way to the end? It might cost a little bit more because they're not standard, but it will be a huge game changer. Shallow drawers in kitchens and bathrooms are a common regret because they limit what you can store. Go as far as you can, make them deeper. This will allow for secondary storage in drawers. A lot of times this is overlooked and a big opportunity for storage. Poor outlet placement can make everyday tasks super annoying, especially in a kitchen. So we're putting these outlet strips underneath cabinetry for those of us who still do upper cabinets. Very few of us are doing them, but for those that are, we are putting the strips so that you don't have to A, see them visually on the backsplash, and B, we have access to a lot of outlets all the way along the periphery of our kitchen. Now, how do you avoid this? Walk through your daily routine and imagine what you're going to need, what you're accessing, what are you reaching for? Are you always reaching for dog toys? How are you going to find storage for your dog toys? Are you always reaching for dog treats? Can you guys tell I have a dog? Then you want to make sure that you have jars that are beautiful and lay nicely on your countertops, as I do. If you are constantly reaching for cookies, then you want to make sure you have a placement for those. So just think deeply with regard to your everyday tasks. Think beyond cabinets and closets and consider built-in benches, understair storage, furniture that doubles also as storage. Regret number 2. This is such a good one and so important. I can't tell you how easily this can be remedied, and that is cheap baseboards. Do not purchase the 3.5-inch Home Depot straight edge mitered baseboards for just a little tiny bit more, and I mean a little tiny bit more. You can buy MDF beautiful 7.25. No matter what the ceiling height is, 7.25 is the magic number for baseboards. We just did a house that had 10-foot ceilings. I used 7.25. We did a house that had 9-foot ceilings. We did 7.25, and it looked gorgeous. Low quality baseboards are A, prone to damage. B, they just cheapen the house. More so, I would say, when putting in high-end baseboards, by high-end I just mean taller with a little detail, it instantly makes the space look much more sophisticated and much more beautiful right off the bat. So this is a great tip. Also, when you paint your baseboards, my recommendation is to use a semi-gloss or a satin finish. Semi-gloss from some paint companies can look glossy. I like a semi-gloss that doesn't look glossy because it's easy to clean. Now, for those of you who are watching regularly and aren't subscribing, I'm gonna ask you, please, 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 to subscribe. Why? Well, that little button that you push is free. That makes zero difference in your life because your algorithm is going to choose your videos for you anyway. Makes a big difference for us because it'll allow our videos to reach more people who could also take advantage of these videos, and it'll make our lives so much better and the people who work tirelessly on this channel. So if you just took a second to do that, I would be forever, forever grateful. And it would mean a great deal. Even leaving a comment and giving this video a thumbs up makes a huge difference. Okay, the next regret that a lot of people have is using cheap plumbing fixtures. I'll tell you why. Regardless of what your budget is, there are some very good brands out there that are less expensive and will last. If you buy the cheapos, what will happen is that inevitably they're going to break, so you're going to have to buy another cheapo, and then you're going to have to, more importantly, bring in the plumber, and that's where they're going to get you. Every time you bring in a plumber to do one task, it's a lot of money, and whether they install a $500 fixture or a $99 fixture, the price is the same. I would rather you guys avoided all of that and got a quality fixture. I don't mean expensive, I mean quality. And just off the top of my head, not sponsored, I'm thinking Delta. I did that in my beach house. I was on a very strict budget and I wanted something that wasn't going to break. And I found something from Delta, which I know is high quality, American made, nice, has been around for generations, has good warranty, and bam, I installed it. It looks great and I know it's going to last. Something else that happens when you do a cheapo, I'll tell you, is that they will use faux, especially in kitchen faucets, or actually in many locations. The shower head itself, where the water comes out, becomes a faux plated chrome or nickel. Not even nickel, they just go for the chrome. And what happens is that it starts to peel eventually because water is very damaging. And so you got to replace that and start all over. So avoid this mistake at all costs. Make sure you're getting real materials that are not coated in plastic. Read the description of the items you're purchasing. Also, poorly made fixtures can lead to weak water flow. They are unreliable temperature controls. They're just a problem altogether, so avoid it. Regret number 4, and this one I've seen again and again, and I've seen it with clients in high-end homes who did not realize that somebody was swapping the good paint for the cheap paint, literally did not know or didn't pay attention or didn't care. And the paint starts to change color, so cheap paint. Even within the high-end brands, when you are purchasing paint, you've got different levels. You've got the standard and then you've got higher premium paints. Go for the premium paint. Spend the extra X amount, 20, 30%. Why? It is expensive, it adds up, I get it, but at least it won't change color. I have a client who painted her cabinets gray and then they turned yellow, literally turned a different color over time within a year. So then she had to strip and repaint, and that cost a lot of money. And then she finally bought the good paint. She didn't know that this happened, so I am sharing this with you. Multiple coats need to be also placed on your walls. Not just one coat. You want to do high quality, multiple coats, because that will give you the correct color. And it will also absorb dirt and oils less. Good quality paints are much more able to disseminate dirt. And VOC concerns. There is VOC and lead, unfortunately, in some paints. And high quality, good quality, better paints are VOC free, which is important for your health and your children's health. So what are the paint companies that I recommend? I definitely recommend, my favorite of all time is Ferro & Ball. I'll be honest, I love them. I love the texture of the paint. I love the way that it sits on the walls. It has sort of a powdery texture that makes the colors just unbelievable. I get it. It's the most premium paint out there, or one of. If not, I love Benjamin Moore. We use Sherwin-Williams as well, and these are all trusted, good paint companies. If you guys have your own regrets, well, look no further than to consult with me, because I can be easily reached via the link in the description section. All you have to do is click the Zoom link, and then next thing you know, my calendar pops up and we can book a consultation for as little as 25 minutes or more. I have met so many of you. I've had such a good time getting to see who's on the other end. I'm always speaking to somebody out there and I'm not sure who they are until you guys have been popping up on my expert call. So it's been a dream to meet every one of you. First of all, we all have the same design style. Like all of us are the same people. It's very weird. I love it. I'm like, I love your style. They're like, I love yours. So we're complimenting each other the whole time. Anyway, if you are interested in booking a consultation, all you have to do is go to the link. Another big mistake that a lot of people make and regret very much is only seeing a small sample of something before it's in. This happened very recently with a client of mine who wanted a paint sample of a stain, got the sample was this big. We said, listen, you need a big sample. You need to look at it. No, I know this is it. This is the right color. This is the right color. Okay, are you going to sign off on this tiny sample? Let us do one cabinet and then you can think about it. No, I want it done. Next thing you know, we paint the whole cabinet and it is of no use. Of course, the client wasn't in town. We did the entire kitchen and now we have to strip it and start over. So do take your time in design. I think the lesson here is don't rush it. I know everybody wants things done today. But this is a house that you're going to be living in for many years, at least a decade. The average time that people spend in a house is 7 years, is the minimum, right? So usually people tend to sell their homes in right around that 7-year mark. So if you know you're going to be in a place for 7 years, why not take the additional month or two that it might take to slow the process of design down? It's not going to change your life ultimately if it takes 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 extra months. At least you know you did it right and you picked the colors that work and you were able to see them on different walls. Another great example of how things can go wrong is if you just paint one wall, one color, and not look at it on different walls. The same paint on 2 different opposing walls can look entirely different. It can look purple on one, literally, and pink on the other. I kid you not. So what you want to do is you want to paint the same color on different walls in the same room. Come back and look at them, not only during the day, at night, during dusk, and during dawn. Those are the people who have most success in their homes because they have done the due diligence that is necessary for a beautiful space. Another small sample mistake are hardwood floor colors. Don't do a tiny little area of the house. Do 2 to 3 areas. Do areas that have different lights. Perhaps if somebody drops off a big sample for you, we drop off sometimes very big planks, move them around, live with them, feel them in the space, think about them before making your big choice. Regret number 6. Okay, this is happening in high-end homes. This is happening in spec homes. This is happening in smaller homes. This is happening in apartments. This is happening everywhere, guys. It's ubiquitous. And that is picking porcelain or a like material for your countertops. I've always said, I know there's a big debate about this. Use a real material, use a marble. Everyone's like, no, I don't want to use marble. It's going to get etched. It's going to get scratched. Let it patina, guys. I have friends who use their countertops ad nauseum. They beat them up and they don't care. And they have very expensive marbles. And guess what? After a while, everything looks patinaed and it looks good. So if you're the kind of person who needs things to be absolutely perfect, then you can use Tough Skin. Tough Skin will coat the marble of your countertop so that it becomes impermeable and will not absorb the lemon juices and the tomato sauces, etc. Again, be conscious of what you're doing. Don't just beat everything up and take a knife and, throw lemon everywhere, but just be cognizant. 9 times out of 10, clients tell me, Nina, I wish I did real marble. I made a mistake. I don't know why I put the faux here. I wish I had real. I wish I had real quartzite. Again, if you're scared of marble, do quartzite. If you're scared of quartzite, then do, another real material if you can, because it just looks so much more beautiful and it's going to have such a bigger impact on your space than perhaps a stain might create, if that makes sense. Also, another reason why you need to use real materials in your kitchen is that when you go to resell your kitchen, the number one reason houses sell, number one reason is your kitchen. If you have a beautiful kitchen, your house will sell. That's what people are looking for. They want the designer kitchen, and you cannot do a very high-end designer kitchen with a porcelain countertop. I would tend to absolutely put my name on that statement, unequivocally say, faux countertops in kitchens, no matter how expensive the house, no matter how expensive the appliances, ruin the house. I'm doing a project right now as we speak with a client who bought a very expensive home, and it was a spec house, and everything in there is top of the line. I mean, think of the most expensive refrigerators and stoves on the marketplace. That's what's in there. But they also have, unfortunately, porcelain countertops, porcelain slabs, right? So you can see the pattern easily that's being mimicked. And on top of it, it just looks so cheap. I'm sorry to say, there might be ones that look better than others. I have yet to see one that I even like, but every time I see them, I can spot them from a mile away and it saddens me. So now we have to rip the entire kitchen out and do it again because they want a high quality kitchen. And they know when it's time to sell their home, they will get multiple X what they would have gotten if they didn't do this. Another great solution for this, if you don't want to use marble, is butcher block. Why not? You could use butcher block, although I don't love to see butcher block with a lot of cuts in it. Stainless steel countertops are hot, hot, hot. Again, there are definitely other options. The last regret that I see many clients make, and this is a big one, is to follow the trends too closely. Now, this might sound like a good idea, but 3 years after you've installed your very ubiquitous sofa or coffee table that everybody now has, or now you can see renditions of it in Home Depot, you know you're in trouble. For example, do you guys remember the ribbed, fluted cabinet pieces? It's still hot on trend, and if you have it, look, I still think it's very beautiful, but had you not done it, you would have had more of a timeless piece. So if you see something that's very, very, very hot and it's everywhere, just know that everybody's going to copy it. The days of things being secretive are over. Social media has really opened up the ability for everyone to see between Pinterest, TikTok, Instagram, everybody's seeing everything in the moment. And same thing with fashion. So what happens is if there's a really good idea out there that looks really super, everybody's going to adopt it. And then next thing you know, it becomes ubiquitous, it becomes boring, it becomes dated. So try not to fall into those trends. Again, bring accessories in that you might love that are trendy. That's okay, because you can get rid of them. But don't do the entire kitchen in a trendy color, or don't do your entire large key pieces in a trendy pattern, like a chevron that used to be very trendy, let's say 20 years ago. So overly patterned tiles can also become very overwhelming. I am guilty of that, but I stand by it because I love things to be different, and nobody was doing this and nobody really picked up on it. So I've got stripes in my kitchen, black and white striped floors at an angle. Nobody has that, just me and Tommy Hilfiger. Go figure. Pretty funny. No pun intended. And I love it. But remember, if you do something that's very ornate, that has a big pattern, then what's going to happen is you are going to tire of it. So if you're going to tire of it, remember to keep it simple. And too many statement pieces can also look strange. You want things to stand out because there's one of them, rather than, your eye is going to go everywhere and it's just going to look like a mess. I hope that was helpful. I hope that you guys got some takeaway from this particular episode. I really love this episode because it allows me to, say everything that I want to say to everyone and make sure that people avoid mistakes, because I don't want you guys to make costly mistakes, because if it costs you money, it makes me sad. And I want you guys to be very careful with your cash, as I am with my clients. I don't want anybody to waste money. I hate wasting money. And that's why I'm glad you're a part of this community. I'm glad you're part of this channel. I love you guys. It means the world to me that some of you are tried and true hard followers, that you have been following from the beginning. I get notes from you and it touches my heart. God knows what I was doing back in the beginning, many, many years ago when I started this channel. But I hope it's evolved, and I hope you guys have seen the transformation, and I hope I can bring you guys better and better content every week while I learn more and more and share more and more. I'm going to Milan Design Week next week, and again, I will bring back all of my knowledge for you guys because I want to make sure you guys know exactly what's going on in the industry. I love you guys, and I can't wait to see you again next week on this channel, The Red Elevator.